Hi, I'm joined today by author Kris Bertolini, and she is actually the author of a brand new book called The Cry of My Heart. Kris, thank you so much for joining us today, and we would love to hear you tell us about your book.
Okay, thank you for having me. My book is actually a journal. It's something I started in 2006. It was just a very, very rough time in my life. My husband left me and my boys, and all of the poetry in it is just things that I was experiencing and going through and trying to figure out how to do life and um, still claim my connection to Christ, not losing that in the midst of the anger and the fear and everything that was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everyone out there that's watching this has had a moment where they're like, all I'm trying to do right now is just do life, because
Yeah.
you get in those spots. What finally made you say, okay, I'm gonna put pen to paper? Like, I know it was a journal, but I'm actually going to like put this out to the world. What was your inspiration behind actually doing that?
Well, I think in the very beginning, God kind of put in my heart that it was going like to be published. And every now and then I would share some of the poems, not all of them, but some of them with other people, and they would make remarks like, "Oh, this should be published." But it was all so raw and so personal, and I just kept it so close. I think I just kind of got to a point in my life where God carried me through that I was able to let it go enough, knowing that other people can find strength in the midst of tragedies in their lives and really cling to Jesus, which is he's always there no matter what is going on in your life, and he will hold you, it will not let you go and take care of everything that you need. And that's what I hope people get from the poems in my book. They're all real time, real life emotions. It's not something I went back and wrote about. I wrote about it through it. So some of them are really raw, some of them are angry, some of them are just desperation to just stay alive, um and I want to help people.
I love that inspiration. And I know as a reader, I think other readers would probably agree that authenticity and someone being genuine and authentic in their writing, it's so much more powerful to read because they're
Mhm.
actually putting out things that are really true to them. So I love your inspiration behind that and just to help others who are going through difficult times because we all do. Is there
Yes.
anything else that you could tell us about the book?
um well, I just kind of bits and pieces, like sometimes, like there's a poem in there that I wrote that the words of the end of a song from Casting Crowns that they wrote about being on the oh gosh, I can't even talk, Eagle's wings. And I wrote an entire that inspired me to write an entire poem. Some of them I wrote out of the watching I have a younger son who's autistic, and just watching him struggle through life on how to make friends, and then so one of the poems I wrote is, called Trying to Make a Friend, and just the anxiety that goes through not always knowing, what to do. One of the poems I wrote about being raped as a teenager and how that jades and changes the way you perceive life, and how fear can take captive in that. So I think there's something for everybody to relate to, and I just want people to see the love of Christ through this book. I mean, that's my main goal. I want people to read what I went through and feel the arms of Jesus just wrapping around them as they read from my experience, and maybe can relate it to their own. That's really the goal of the book, is for people to know that Jesus cares. He loves you. He's kind. He's not brutal. He doesn't leave you in your time of need. He doesn't turn his back on you when you sin. He's got you all the time.
Yeah, that's such a powerful message. And just sitting here talking with you, I can see that you just as a person, you radiate that message. And I know
Oh, thank you.
that the book will absolutely radiate that message as well to people. I love that, so people can read and just see the love of Christ despite all of the craziness that goes on in our lives. Um, Again, the book is called The Cry of My Heart, and the author is Kris Bertolini. And you're able to pick this up on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple iTunes. You can grab it as an ebook. However you love to read, I encourage you to go out and grab this book of poetry. I think you will really enjoy it. Kris, thank you again for joining us today and
Thank you
sharing
so
this
much
with
for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.